What's up guys, Lvladen here, and today I'm coming at you with an exciting video. We are getting red buffs next week, huge PvP changes, and I just wanted to go over them briefly on the channel. So the first thing that you'll notice here is that in both PvE and PvP, a Retribution is getting a 20% final verdict damage buff. This is absolutely huge. One of my big problem points with Ret in the War Within, it hasn't necessarily been the overall damage, especially Season 1, but it's been kind of the spread of damage. And Final Verdict hasn't been doing the same amount that it has done in previous expansions. Just to give you a quick overview of what it looks like on a typical Solo Shuffle damage breakdown, this is my breakdown right here. Final Verdict, average Final Verdict is about 510k with a top end of about 723k non-crit. That is with full modifiers like Greater Judgment, Final Reckoning, Holy Flames, Blessing of Dawn. This ability just doesn't really do too much overall, and it really takes away from kind of the fun of pushing the button, and it's going to feel nice. 20% on top of the 10% that we got in the previous week. I think it's actually going to be enough to push this ability kind of a little bit into the satisfactory range for in terms of feeling the class play like it should. Next up, we have the PvP specific changes here. Now, I don't really know this one or like what this means. Blinding Light no longer removes damage over time effects from enemy players. Does that mean it's just going to break pretty much instantly? I don't really know. I mean, it sounds kind of like a nerf, but yeah, we'll have to see. I don't really play Blinding Light anymore either way. And then we have a couple more ret changes here. So they're actually peeling back the nerf on Avenging Wrath, which is fantastic. Only by 5%. So it's going to be nerfed in PvP combat by only about a quarter now. So 15% damage increase on the 1 minute wings talent should feel good. I'm actually not entirely sold that this is going to be explicitly better than Crusade. I'm definitely going to have to do some testing, but I'm looking forward to at least having some builds that kind of could play into the more critical strike play style that Ret used to have in Shadowlands. The next change that we have here is Blade of Justice. Damage increase again by 20% in PvP combat. Blade of Justice overall is very low on our damage breakdown. Can I even find it here? Yeah, I had 4 Blade of Justices. My average Blade of Justice was 243k with a high end of 350k. So Blade of Justice getting a 20% buff. I mean, great, but just like last week, we're really not going to feel this. This is not a button that's pushed all too often in PvP, and also it has really low baseline damage overall. So we'll see. I used to push it more as Templar, but I have not been playing Templar as much this season. Next up, we have Divine Protection. Now they're peeling back they're doing something similar to the Avenging Wrath change here, where they only nerf Divine Protection in PvP by a quarter. That is nice. So it is now buffed up to a 15% damage wall. I'm curious to see how this is going to end up feeling with with Aegis of Protection, because we, in theory, could have a 35% wall during stuns. That seems pretty strong, but obviously you have to give up Shield of Vengeance for that, so there is a trade-off. Unsure. But overall, I'm very much looking forward to these changes. These are exactly what I think we all wanted to see, and I'm super happy that Blizzard, definitely responded to the feedback, because Final Verdict was, I think, one of our top asks, and then so is peeling back the wings change here. So next week, we might have a new build, and we're definitely going to feel better. And also, speaking of Final Verdict damage, the 4 set is definitely going to be go-to now, because previously, up until like literally probably yesterday, I wasn't entirely sold I was actually going to play the 4 set, because Final Verdict damage was so low overall, and the stats are really poor on the 4 set. But with the 20% damage increase to Final Verdict, definitely going to be playing it as both Herald and Templar. And I don't think we get it next reset, but we get it the reset after. Some people who raided already have it, so kudos to them. They'll have some fun next week, but not I. I do not raid. Any other, let me think, is there anything else here? Oh yeah, so another reason that we might be running the excuse me, we might be running Avenging Wrath here, is this talent here, Luminosity. So with Avenging Wrath, we'll have, I believe, like, what, a 34% crit chance overall, so 10, 15, 25. Yes, with our 9, I don't know if this scales up to, like, 10%. I don't think I have any crit gear on at the moment. But yeah, we'll have, like, a 34% chance at critting on our Hammer Wraths during Wings, which is huge. Not to mention the 5% damage buff on top of that. So we actually might have some pretty meaty Hammer Wrath as Herald. It'd be pretty cool to see how it does overall. Right now, Ret definitely does not feel good. It's, in my opinion, it's probably like a C tier melee. And I think we're going to jump up to being an A tier melee next week. A couple of the specializations that we play well with are getting buffed. There's going to be a lot of healing, tuning changes. I think Holy Priests are getting Omega buffs, Disc Priests are getting minor nerfs, and then a lot of healers are getting buffed overall, I believe, like Mistweavers. I frequently play with Mystical, so I'm pretty happy for him. But right now, like, guys, look at my solo shuffle. I have like a 45% win rate. We started this season with our MMR from last season, which is like, I believe it was like 2550, 2600, something like that. And I don't think I won a single game, so I didn't go higher than 2-4 until I tanked my MMR from around 2600 to 2200. And then we've been slowly climbing it back here. That was brutal. I mean, 2s and 3s are pretty good, but we just play a comp that can carry us, like Fury Warriors just carry us in 3s right now. But overall, I am very much looking forward to the buffs. I think things are looking up, and you know, who knows? Maybe we'll see new PvP talents in the next patch. But consider me very, very happy, excited, and I think these are enough to bump Ret up in the meta for sure. All right, I'll see you all next time. Peace.